I spit bars in a rain. Man, I go hard like Santan.
Hello, welcome to another Touchy Gooners podcast. My name's Lewis. I'm joined by the two Dans. How you doing, gentlemen?
All good, bro. All good.
Good, man.
Sorry, man. You guys were looking at me like bare perplexed, and it's because of that intro thing. I didn't expect that. That's quite a cool concept, actually. My head is actually gone by that right now. Like if you listen to the podcast, you'll have no idea what I'm talking about. But I'm actually talking about the YouTube. We're going live on YouTube as we record this. So yeah, you podcasters, you won't know what I'm talking about, but the two Dans do, and everyone who's tuning in with us live on YouTube absolutely do. Guys, yes, we've got a few bits of Patreon content coming up this week. So if you haven't already subscribed to the Patreon, obviously we did our post-match West Ham review straight after it was the day after, wasn't it? It was day after for the West Ham game. So if you want that kind of instantaneous or quicker match reaction rather than wait until a Thursday morning to get your fix, then listen, Patreon's where you need to go. It's a small amount of fee, £5 a month, and you get, you're getting at least one piece of bonus content a week. And because it's Corona season, where sometimes we're doing 2 or 3 Patreon pieces a week. So listen, it's well worth it. And I'm not just saying that, it really is. Yeah, and also follow us on our socials as well. And if you are watching on YouTube, click that subscribe button, please, and like the video. Thank you very much, guys. Look, we'll cover the West Ham game. Were both you on the Patreon with me? Who's on the Patreon?
I was.
Nigerian Dan was on the Patreon, but German Dan wasn't. So German Dan, let me go to you first, since you've not given your thoughts on the game as of yet. What's your general feel after that game? Because it was a mixture of emotions, right? We're 3-0 down, and it's like, what a load of shit. And then we have a really good second half where we score the last 35 to 40 last 45 minutes, and also the last 10 minutes of the first half, sorry. And where we're quite good, and we score 3 goals, and we come back and draw 3-3. So it's a bit of a roller coaster of emotions, really and truly. What are you taking from the game?
Yeah, I would say disappointment, really. Still disappointment. I mean, it was a great effort to fight back and get a draw in the end. I say get a draw, but yeah, for me, only the W. I'm all about the W's. So going into this game, I thought this is a game that we can win. Start strongly, control the game. I think West Ham is one of those teams that they are a threat from set pieces. I don't really perceive them too much of a threat from open play. I mean, Lingard does have his moments for them. In the last couple weeks and months, he's been really good. So he can provide them that extra quality. And Antonio obviously is a bit of a live wire, but I was mainly thinking they're going to score from set pieces. Souček was going to probably get a header in or something like that. But I was expecting us to control the game. And the first 30 minutes were just not acceptable. No control over the game. We weren't in the game, to be honest. I think that I don't exactly remember the stat, but it was something of us basically having no passes in their half, and everything was in our half. It was pretty weird. The first 10 minutes, especially, and then in general, the first 20 minutes, it was just like the team didn't respect the game plan. They didn't play up from the back. Scared to play through West Ham's press, and I didn't really think West Ham pressed that well. I think it was coordinated, but it was a high and mid press, but it wasn't an aggressive press. So even if we were on the ball, you were given time to play your passes, and frankly, the players were just picking the wrong passes, or the execution was off. So first 20 minutes really poor, man. And then 3-0 down, obviously the bells were ringing on the squad, man.
They were dunking on us.
Oh my god, it was crazy, man.
I had to contain my my anger a little bit, because Babs was pissing me off. Everyone was pissing me off, man.
Yeah. It was crazy. So
just chatting shit.
But we scored, and then we got back into the game, and then we scored 1 goal, and I was thinking secretly, in it, I didn't tell anyone at the time. I think I only put in the Touchy Gooners group. I was like, nah, we can win this game, because I can't lie, I just don't rate a lot of teams in this league. I don't. And People know that. I don't really rate a lot of teams in this league. If you have enough quality, you can put them away. You can score goals. So 3-1 down. I put £8 or £10 on us to come back and win.
Oh,
And then,
did you?
yeah, I
Cheeky
put money on
sod.
us on us to win, and it was close, man. It was close.
Yeah.
We could have won. I mean, West Ham could have probably got another goal in the second half as well. They had good chances, but second half much better. I think key performance for me. Odegaard, obviously, everyone is going crazy over his performance. But I think it's also worth pointing out that Partey played an incredible second half.
We will touch on that.
So yeah, those were the key performers for me, really. And Lacazette, he did his thing as well in that game.
Yeah. Obviously, there are a few things we need to talk about in a bit more depth that we didn't quite get to cover on the Patreon. Just in terms of like the fallout from this game. There's quite a few storylines to tell. I think we've been having our own discourse in the group chat. We've got we're kind of battling between ourselves on all right, cool. We've banged on this podcast about process, right? Process. I'm pretty sure there's some people in the group who said, you know what, I can take a good process and the results not going our way, right? Some people have said that. I can't bring the receipts like that. I don't remember who, but I know people have said that, especially under Emery, where we were just absolute jazz. And when we did win, it just felt so like, ugh. Do you know what I mean? Now I know how Man United fans feel watching Bruno Fernandes, because under Emery we personified that as a club. Do you know what I mean? We were the Bruno Fernandes of football under Unai Emery. And Dan, I'll come to you with this. Where are you right now? Okay, process, results. Obviously, the results aren't good enough. A game like that, we shouldn't be 3-0 down to West Ham. But at the same time, that second half was quite impressive, and I quite enjoyed it. So, where's the balance?
Yeah, it's a funny one, right? Because we were having this conversation in the group. There was a few people were saying, "Oh, they don't want to do a U-turn and stuff, right? On the manager and whatnot." But for me, I feel like it's the manager that's actually done a U-turn. Not the fans, right? Because if your expectations were that this guy is, he's a young manager, it's going to take time, we're not going to win every match, this, that, and the other, then you can probably take the fact that we lose a few games along the way, we lose a few games here and there. That's not really too much of an issue. What I found the main issue was that we were looking terrible. We didn't know where the next goal was going to come from. We didn't know where the next shot was going to come from. I think I remember that Leeds match. Leeds is probably one of the most open teams in the entire division. The amount of goals they conceded, the amount of chances they give up, and we didn't have a single shot. For long spells. I think it was something like 45 minutes we went in that match without a shot, and that was before Pepe's red card. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, when I'm looking at this, there is nothing that anyone can tell me when I'm seeing how this team is unfolding, how this team is playing football, that will tell me that, yeah, this is the guy to take us forward. Whereas if you compare it to now, where fine, the results are still not great, but I think the performances are a lot better. We are dominating possession for large spells. We are creating chances. We're creating good chances, and we're creating big chances that we're not necessarily putting away. But there is something underlying that I can buy into, because I know that if you potentially buy more efficient players at the top end to finish these chances, we'll win matches. And if you buy better players at the back end that will, not kick the ball into our own net or give away possession outside of the box, or, what was the other one that, or just run outside the box and handball it on a random one. Do you know what I mean? Then I know that, we'll keep more clean sheets and we'll win matches and we'll win 3 points more consistently. So I think before, no one can tell me there was anything that we can buy into. I think if Arteta didn't win that FA Cup and we came 8th last season, say we lost that final and we were playing football the way that we were playing from October to December, I think there will be a lot less people willing to give him time. I think the FA Cup did him a lot of favours in the sense that it bought him the time to, I guess, make his mistakes, if that makes sense. And I feel like October to December, he was making a lot of mistakes. And I feel like hopefully now that has been a learning curve for him and we won't see that type of stuff anymore. Do you know what I mean? Where we're going 8, 9, 10, 8 out of 10 games straight L's. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, I think he is a young manager. He needs to learn on the job, etc. But hopefully he learns quickly and all of this sort of, you know, bad form, bad performances on the pitch is gone out of his system, it's gone out of the team system.
Yeah, it's see the thing is, some might say to you, Dan, that is the minimum we should expect from an Arsenal team. Some might say controlling the game, majority of possession, creating chances. That's Arsenal. We've been that way for 30 years. Why should we expect anything less than that? That is the Arsenal we grew up on. So why is that impressive that Arteta is doing that with this crop when really and truly that should be the minimum expectation?
I think it's a good question. And to be honest,
that was my inner Anton coming out there.
To be honest, I can agree with that narrative to some degree. This is the minimum that we should expect. And if we're going back to the start of the season, our expectations for the start of the season, most Arsenal fans' expectations for the start of the season was comfortably in the top 6 and challenge for the top 4. Let's not make no mistake about that. Let's not pretend that we thought we'd be outside of the top 6. That was never the case. If someone said that, then at the time people would have been like, "Yeah, you're bugging," kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it was very clear what our intentions were for the season. We massively came short on those intentions and targets and objectives in the first half of the season. No mistake about that. And that's mainly down to management. The crop of players is there. You need to extract the maximum out of them, elicit the maximum out of them, and we didn't. Quite frankly, for 3 months, it was just unacceptable performances. Unacceptable performances. And the problem was for me at the time was that the full process of finding the solution was very, very long. And I thought that the solutions were obvious. And I think a lot of the people in the Touchy Gooners group as well, and probably in the wider Arsenal community, thought the solutions are obvious. We need a creative flair. We need to play through the middle. All this type of aspects that were made. Those sort of conclusions were made, I think, after the Leicester game, before the Leicester game, and that was like start of November, and we didn't do this to an adequate standard or level until after Christmas, nearly New Year, and that's a long period of time. And everyone knows we're playing every 3 days. There's a lot of suffering that we've gone through this season. You know, this season has been a long season. Where I do give Arteta some credit, for sure, is that his job was on the line and he adapted and he found the right balance and system. Or I would say he found the right base. He's now adding pieces to this and basically fine tuning this his philosophy in the way we're playing football. But he found the base. But and our performances have been, I think, way better since December. But if I look at it holistically, those type of performances that we've had since the Chelsea game are what I expected throughout the season. And based on those expectations, I thought we have to be challenging for top 4. And then make no mistake about that, I still believe that we should have. And the evidence that we're able to pick up wins, even when we're not playing, even though when we're not as convincing as we've been in the past when getting top 4. Just shows that, yeah, we could have been very well in with a shot for top 4 if you played like this for the rest of the season or for all of the season. So I think that's where a lot of the criticism comes. I think My personal view is still similar to Dan. He's made these adjustments. The performances are getting better. I think the results still need improvement. There's still unacceptable results that we haven't, and to some degree also unexpected performances, because you can't be going 3-0 down to West Ham in 30 minutes. You can't be losing to Villa. Can't be losing to Wolves. Like, those type of things still need to be ironed out. But I would lie if I'd say we're not on an upwards trajectory from where we were in November. I mean, that's just the truth. I do think that he did take us a step back, but he's taken us to where we should be now. So, can he build on this now? That is the big question that we all can't really answer. We have to see.
Yeah, I just shared the since Boxing Day league table, that everyone loves to be sharing right now. We're fourth
That
place
is not
in
the
that.
real league table, but yeah,
It's not the real league table, but there is context to it. We're not just plucking a random date out the air like some might have you believe, but that is, there was a clear chain of events that led to that date. There's a clear reasoning for choosing that date, and since that day, we have been infinitely better than we had been prior to that. And I know it's not, and he needs to take as much responsibility for this league table as he does for the overall league table. And there's only one reason we're in 9th, and it's because of Mikel Arteta, right? There's only one man to blame, really and truly, because he's had the same batch of players except for, Odegaard and ASR who have been added in, and essentially they've been the catalyst, I guess, for this turnaround. But they were Arteta failed to find the solutions. He signed Willian in the summer, so he needs to take some blame for what happened between October and December. Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about the game itself, because the first 15 minutes were bizarre, right? We had some clashing opinions in the Discord. Dan, you didn't. Nigerian Dan, you didn't think. Actually, let me not say what I thought you said, but because it's your opinion, and I don't want to put words in your mouth. But
I don't want to gaslight, yeah.
I don't want to gaslight. I personally, I felt like we showed a bit of fear. And I'm not too sure why we showed fear, because in the first 15 minutes, I think a graphic came up on Sky Sports, something about 33 passes in the final third for West Ham and 1 for us. And, that was absolutely insane. And every time because West Ham were putting us under so much pressure, they weren't doing too much, but they had a few glance headers that went wide, and it was like a few warning signs. And every time we got a goal kick, we would drop deep as if, like we would normally do to play short. And Leno would just be like, no, go, like go up to the halfway line. And that confused me a little bit, because we could say, is that an instruction from Arteta then to go long? But if it's your instruction to go long, why have our centre-backs then gone on to the edge of the area to come and collect the ball? So I didn't quite, and we're showing that from the start of the game, which showed... Personally, it showed me, but I don't think we had a Scooby-Doo what we were doing in the first 15 minutes. And that's worrying to me, because we can't start games like that every week in the Premier League. Because if we do, we're going to face a few more of those barnstorming, 15 minutes from West Ham, where they put us under the cosh and we're 2-0 down in no time and 3-0 down by 35 minutes or whatever. So, Nigerian Dan, I'll go to you first. Instruction, design, whatever you want to call it, or just a fear amongst the players? What do you think it was?
Yes, it's interesting, because we were having this discussion, right? And I think I can't remember where I heard this. I think I heard this on another podcast, right? And they said that the first 5 minutes is very important, because that's when the instructions are freshest, and that's when you see what the game plan should be, right? So, like, if you think back to the Man City game, immediately first 5 minutes, Man City had the ball. It went straight to Mahrez. He went one-on-one with Tierney, put the ball in, and I don't know, 2-3 minutes later, they did it again. And then I think on the third time, they scored from it, right? So then I think Arteta changed a couple things. Called I can't remember who was playing on the left that game. I think Pepe started on the right, so maybe he called Smith Rowe, maybe or Martinelli or Pepe or whoever it was, Saka, to tuck in a bit more, and then we stopped that attack. But it's clear from minute one that was City's way of getting in, right? And this game against West Ham, I feel like it reminded me of the game against Leeds, where it was clearly instructed for us to not try and play out of Leeds' press, and we went long again and again and again and again in that away game, and I think it cost us, right? So I just find it very strange that, fair enough, because I get the understanding that Leno, he's had some errors recently. The players have been a bit wobbly at the back, playing out the back and whatnot. But I found it very difficult to take that after minute one, they just completely ditched trying to play out, because they didn't do it once. Like, Murray got on the ball, he went up the line long. Tierney got on the ball, he went up the line long. Every goal kick was going long. So I found it very strange that we weren't even attempting to play out the back a little bit. So that's why I thought it was instruction. But I do understand that, the players, they were still setting up to receive goal kicks short. And eventually we were playing short. But I just thought in that first 15 minutes, we didn't even try to play short, which is why I thought it was instructions from Arteta. And I thought it was very strange that we would try and do that, because all of the success that we've had in recent weeks, even in the games that has cost us goals, we've been able to score from playing out the back. Like even that Burnley game where the error comes, our goal that we actually score is from playing out the back to Partey, and then he breaks the line. So that's why I thought it was very strange that we seemed to ditch that.
Yeah, no, 100%, 100%. Ramadan, any thoughts you want to add on to that before we move on?
Yeah, it was strange to me as well. And I know Lacazette came out after the game and said we didn't respect the game plan. We don't know exactly what that was. Obviously, the first assumption people would make is that it was because they just kept kicking long. Maybe there was something else that they didn't do that they were supposed to be doing alongside kicking the ball long that they didn't do. We don't know that, but one thing we do know is that the kicking long didn't work. We didn't have the recipients high up the pitch that could win the aerial battles against West Ham. We didn't win the second ball, and essentially we were giving the ball to West Ham every single time just to get basically counter-attack. So when you go up, you push your line up and you kick long, and they win the ball, and then the second ball, they'll break on you straight away. So it was just, we were getting break on, man, transitioned on. And that was poor. And then once we started playing out from the back and actually playing through their press a little bit, West Ham dropped off. It was really, we dominated that game for most of it. I think there was only a 5-minute spell that West Ham had in the second half where they were threatening. The rest we were on top.
Yeah, 100%. The next part I wanted to talk to you about actually was the whole notion of Thomas Partey and the performance of Thomas Partey, because at first I have to admit, not that I was down on his performance. I thought he did well. But I didn't quite notice his influence on the game until I rewatched the second half. And it was then evident to me that, there was a player on the pitch who said, this is not good enough. And we need to sort this out. And there was two players essentially who did that. One of them, obviously, Odegaard. And but I feel like the catalyst for bringing Odegaard into the game was actually Thomas Partey. And I feel like his performance, for some reason, has come under a lot of scrutiny. And I don't know if that's by Arsenal fans or opposition fans or a mixture of both. I just see a lot of slander basically on social media, and for me, I don't really understand it, because even whilst I was watching the game, I never got vibes of he's having a stinker. I thought I thought he was playing really well.
Yeah, for me, when first half, I didn't think anyone was good. I think only Odegaard was decent. I didn't think he was that good either. I think he was decent. He was good at getting the ball and retaining it, and a lot of players struggled with that in the first half. Don't get me wrong. So he was the shining light in that first half. In the second half, Partey was the one that pandered to the in between the lines with speed, with accuracy, disguised. Every like so on so many occasions he found Odegaard, and Odegaard could take the game to West Ham then and had passing options in the final third. And we've talked about this a few times. And obviously, some of the other touchline podcasts make fun of us when we say, or when I say, destabilized. But Partey was destabilizing that midfield, man. Souček and Rice could not get close to him, and they could not stop his passes. They didn't know where his passes were going. His passes were breaking lines, taking players out of the game, and allowing Odegaard to be in good positions. And granted, Odegaard executed, but I think there was a big misconception on his performance based on just a few giveaways in the first half. He was sloppy in the first half, don't get me wrong. And in the second half, he was basically a single pivot. He was the one winning the ball back. He won the ball back with high regularity as well and high volume. I think he had the most recoveries in that game. Most recoveries he's had since he's played in the Premier League. He's won the ball back loads. He won loads of second balls as well. So it was really a monster performance in the second half. If you just watch that second half, you'll see what he did. He was winning the ball and finding the players in the right positions. And doing this with speed is a whole different proposition. Like, you can do this when you have time and space and no one's pressing you, but when the game is fast, you get impressed. You're doing this off 1 or 2 touches. It's a complete different ball game. And this is the reason why he's a top midfielder. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, I think.
Hey, and the shooting was a bit off. I think that put a lot of people off, and he was skying them shots into the right. You're on mute.
Hey, Lewis, you're muted.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Yeah, I was gonna say he needs to relax on the shooting, but let me take this opportunity to bring Olo into the pod.
Good,
better late than never. Obviously, welcome Olo. Welcome,
Last minute sub, innit?
Well, we haven't bought anyone off though. We've that'd be the equivalent of bringing on an extra player.
Forward side again, mate. Forward side.
Yeah. Anyway, Olo, we're talking about
goals.
We're talking about Partey's performance. I don't know if you heard what I said, but I was basically saying that I feel like social media really had a negative outlook on Partey's performance when
Hey, do you know
I
what?
thought he was the catalyst to things changing around, really.
Yeah, I thought he was as well, but do you know what it is, man? I don't want to sound like that guy, but bro, Partey, if people getting onto Partey, it's colorism. I swear to God, fam. If Partey,
Okay, go on, let me hear it out, go on.
If Partey was called Juan Patisserie.
What?
Juan Patisserie or some
Wait. Say the second name, please. Please say it again. Pata Rosé.
Patisserie.
Patisserie. Man saying one patisserie, you know.
One patisserie, something like that. If Partey was called something like that, yeah. There's no way anyone get onto him about that game. There's absolutely no way. People are just waiting for something to pick. Because obviously it's come with a big reputation. Arsenal fans have gassed him up. We're telling people this guy is world class. And social media is just looking for a way to bring someone down like him. It's just typical. That's how I see it. But obviously, first 35, he wasn't great. I don't think it was as bad as people are making out. But after that, I think him and Odegaard, they just took charge of that game for us.
Yeah. Got Nigerian Dan, Juan Patisserie. You're on mute now, Dan. You're on mute now.
Yeah. I don't know about that name, but I think I do think Ola has a point. I think because it's a funny signing, right? I think there was a lot of pre-loaded agenda. I don't want to say agendas, but there's a biases. I think, whether conscious or unconscious, right? I think a lot of people had strong opinions about the signing before he'd even played for Arsenal. There were a lot of people that said, you know, why do we need to sign a central midfielder? You know, why do we need to sign a DM when we need an attacking player, etc.? You know, there was all the Partey versus our discussions, etc. And I feel like because people were on one side of the line, you know, they're looking for a reason that they can point to say, yeah, they were right. You know, we didn't need this guy. We didn't. We shouldn't have spent £45 million on him. You know, and so I feel like people are very sensitive to everything that he does on the pitch. The moment one person runs past him, he's had a bad performance. He misplaces one pass, he's had a bad performance. He skies a couple shots, he's had a bad performance. Whereas, you know, they're ignoring actually the good things that he's doing on the pitch. And to be fair, I'm probably on the other side, and I'll probably go further to ignore the bad things that he does to try and justify it, because I'm a big fan of the player and I want him to do well at Arsenal, and I wanted us to sign him for the money, etc. So, you know, there are two sides to the coin. But I think if you just try and exercise some balance in looking at him, you can see that even when he's having a bad game, I think that he is still doing a lot of good things. You know, I do not think we scored any of the 3 goals yesterday if he is not, you know, being very vertical with his passing, being very quick with his passing. And, you know, we've seen other centre mids that we've had this season. You know, if El Nenny's playing that match, he's not finding Odegaard and Lacazette with that any sort of regularity. Ceballos, I think, can do it, but I don't think he's doing it at the speed that Partey is doing it. And I think he almost made Xhaka redundant yesterday. Not yesterday, but on the weekend. And that's why Arteta took him off. And that's Xhaka's a guy that we've seen play 16 games in a row, 90 minutes, all of the games. Yeah. So this is a guy that is basically has been fundamental to us building play and our, I guess, resurgence in form.
In fairness to Xhaka, though, he looked like a player who had played 16 games in a row, completed 90 minutes. He looked tired. I thought a few of our players actually looked quite tired. Like the schedule looked like weird because we ended strongly. But I don't know. Yeah, I think you've raised some good points there, especially about the biases, because when he does do something bad, I sit there quiet. I'm just like, all right, cool. Yeah, I hope that no one else sees it. You know, I think there was like a pass about 5 minutes in where he expected Chambers to be there and he's just played a ball straight off the pitch. And I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. And then I think we were on the Discord at the time. I just started talking, you know, like, oh yeah, just started changing subjects
about TV shows and that.
Yeah. You have to change the subject, you know, just in case the ops are local. But I think there is an element of that, you know. There's some cheeky Man United fans out there that's still a bit jealous that they didn't sign him. And you know, I don't want to say any names, but there's a few of them out there very jealous. Seb might be one of them. Seb might be one of them, and another Timothy, A1 De Niro. I reckon he's a bit jealous as well. Actually,
he's very jealous, mate.
Yeah,
Bless
very
him.
jealous. But you know,
bless it.
You know, he's got Scott McTominay in midfield, so who wouldn't be jealous?
It's not his fault, man. It's not his fault.
No. But yeah, I thought, I think we've covered Partey enough. German Dan, did you chime in, or I can't remember if you chimed in on the?
Yeah, I did. I think just on the last points that you've made on Xhaka as well. I think there were fans calling for Partey to be substituted instead of Xhaka. Listen,
that's bizarre, right?
If you wanted to see Xhaka in midfield by himself for 45 minutes or 30 minutes, I mean, you might, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not going to say what I'm going to say, you know, but or wanted to say, but it's just a bit wild. That's all. I think it's wild. So.
I think it's very interesting you say that, Dan, because do you remember the Villa match when we were 1-0 down? Partey is the one that got subbed off, and ESR, because I think he had another injury, right? And then ESR came on, and we did sort of the same thing, basically, with Willian on the left, Aubameyang in the middle, Pepe on the right, and it was a 4-3-3, and we lost all ability to build play. For that sub happened, I think 70 minutes, and we didn't have another shot, I think, until like the 87th minute or something like that, when we're 1-0 down. So, you know, I think people need to respect what this guy's doing in centre mid and his ability to link defence and attack. I think it's second to none in this division. I'm not going to lie. I'm actually going to go out there on a limb. In terms of the progressive passing and linking defence to attack, I don't think there's anyone better at doing it.
I think it's the verticality is a big aspect, and sorry, Lee, but on that Villa game, we started going wide. Everything was going wide because we couldn't go through the middle anymore. Partey gives you that ability to go through.
He just
the middle.
passed it straight through the center, right? Like, and he passed it with zip as well. I do think like there's an element of it where I think people look at Partey and they think, oh, he must be a destroyer. He must be, you know what I mean? He must be big.
I'm not gonna lie.
Big bloke from Ghana, and you expect him to be, strong in a tackle, winning the ball back. But that's not to say he's not good at that. He is good at that side of the game, but he's not a Kante. He's not a, in Arsenal terms, he's not a Coquelin or a Lucas Torreira. That's not his remit. His remit is, you get me the ball, and when I get the ball, we're going to make things happen. And I don't think people expect that skill set from his profile of player, which probably goes into your point, Olo, of maybe the colorism aspect where, maybe not even the colorism stuff, but just pure, he's from Ghana. Like, nobody's expecting a man from Ghana to do that. Do you know what I'm saying?
I think people are treating him, how Essien, when Essien first came to the Prem, they didn't, all them goals he was scoring, all them things he was doing, people didn't expect it from him. People, it's kind of like how people look at Kante. People just see him as a destroyer, just someone.
I do see Kante as just a destroyer.
Do you know what? No. Do you know what? Something about Kante, there are certain aspects to his game that people don't give him credit for.
They did this with John Obi Mikel as well.
Yeah, Mikel was another one. I think it's not a race card thing, but it's more of a like people don't give.
It's the unconscious bias.
Yeah. Certain. Obviously, I don't want to make it race card, but certain skin colors. How we touch onto it as like kids, how the black players get shoved in the wing or this and that. So when you see a midfielder that's black and he's actually really good, they've got technical ability to match whoever. People don't give them the respect that they deserve. That's how I see it, really.
No, fair enough, man. Good points there. Next person I want to talk about before we wrap things up. Oh, where am I going?
What are you doing there?
have I disappeared?
You're frozen.
There we go. I think I'm back now. Can you guys see me? No?
Nah, man.
Anyway, I'm sure it'll come back. I don't know what's going on.
We can hear you.
Yeah. The next person I wanted to speak about, obviously, is Martin Odegaard. How good was that performance? And also, I just want to create a discussion point around, obviously, a lot of talk after this game of like, wow, we have to make this guy permanent. And what would be the upper limit of what you guys would be willing to pay? Me personally, I'm all in. Whatever Real Madrid say, go for it. Do you know what I mean?
I hear you still. I hear you.
But I said the same thing about Ceballos, so I'm not, I can't be trusted.
Yeah, you definitely can't be trusted.
At all, man.
Is my camera working again?
No, it's not still.
No, you froze. Yeah.
We move. You see, the thing is with this Odegaard guy, I know that question was put out on Twitter, and I said I'd pay up to 60 million for him, and that's given the current sort of COVID market, etc. But I actually feel like we should be able to get him for cheaper, because I know Madrid need money, etc. But if you look at this guy's career and the fact that he's not rated at Madrid, I feel like they wouldn't ask for as high a price as that. Personally, I feel like they need the funds. And if you look at his record in terms of actual numbers that he's put up, I know he was top 5 chance creators in La Liga last season, etc. But he's not really a goal-scoring midfielder thus far in his career. And he hasn't really put up the assist numbers thus far in his career. So if you're looking at it from a perspective of, what actual pedigree that this guy has, I don't think you can ask for 50, 60, 70 million for a player who hasn't actually shown you those kind of levels, that consistent level yet, in terms of production. right? So I feel like we would be able to get him for, say, the same price that Chelsea got Kovacic for, £40 million. I think they were asking for 30 million for Dani Ceballos as well. So I think in that sort of range would be fair. I also feel like the conversation that we were having when we signed him of a potential extra 12-month loan deal with an obligation option to buy is still on the table. Personally, I don't really think that we've seen enough for that to now for Madrid to now demand that we buy him up front immediately, unless another club comes in for him and wants him in summer. So I feel like we're positioned quite well to make this deal happen. And all the conversations are saying that Zidane's going to stay. You know, so I'm very quietly hopeful that we can get this deal done and get it done for a reasonable price.
I'm even fairly confident even if Zidane stays, because I think in Odegaard's comments he's reiterated this as well. He wants stability. If he goes now back to Real Madrid, if there's a new manager, is that manager going to play him? Does he have to compete again? He has a good thing going on at Arsenal. And whilst obviously we're looking at it like, oh yeah, we can get Odegaard, this would be super for us. It would be very good for him as well. This is a very good platform for him to play. He's played a lot of games under Arteta. He's first choice number 10. It's a good thing for him as well. And I think I agree on your assessment around the price. I think the Real Madrid are probably looking around 40 to 50 million euros that they look to get from us for him. I think the COVID market obviously plays a part. Plays a part that he hasn't played in the Champions League like that, or hasn't had any European tournament where he's really shone yet. So all those things that relate to pedigree play a part. But with Odegaard, you pay for the potential and you play for the skill set he has. Of course, he has a very unique skill set, especially at the top level in football. So there are chance creators around Europe, but not to the high, not a high octane chance creator like Odegaard, and someone that can do it with this type of regularity and this type of quality. And I think his biggest quality really is his weight of pass. His weight of pass is pretty spot on, and that you don't get that often. I think where he actually can still improve is his positioning between the lines. There's a couple of times I thought if you just positioned a bit further away from the ball, you're making things happen even more. So I think I see actually quite a bit of room for improvement with him. And I think you're buying the potential here, and I would be willing to spend 60, 70 to be honest, but I think we can get him for 40, 50.
Yeah, fair play.
I'm in line with that as well. I do think we can get him for a cut price, not as high as people are saying, about 60 mil. Maybe I reckon we can probably get him for about 40, 50, maybe even, because obviously we should be thankful of the COVID market. Also, the fact that Madrid have got targets this summer. They're probably gonna push all out for Haaland, so they need to sell some of the assets, and we're lucky he's one that they need to sell. And I think we've got a guy that's replaced Ozil finally, and we need to go all out to get him into this club. I think people are saying about Smith Rowe should just go with Smith Rowe, but we need more than Smith Rowe. Even after adding Odegaard, we need to add one extra. I think we should go for one more player after him.
Yeah, I hear that. I agree with all of that, man. I feel like grab Odegaard, grab another, sort of left-sided, right-footed playmaker type. Then you're really talking about doing something very, very good, and doing something a bit special there. I think because Smith Rowe and Odegaard, I think they're very, very complementary pieces. I don't think it is an either or. Yeah, Odegaard, he likes taking a lot of touches. He likes traveling with ball and playing that final pass. And I think that Smith Rowe is a very good off the ball mover. He takes very few touches when he is in possession, and he keeps things ticking, and he accelerates the play in a very different way. And if you looked at we've said that Smith Rowe doesn't necessarily have the same final pass that Odegaard does, but if you look at the chance creation numbers in their time playing for Arsenal, they're very, very similar. Both are creating at a very similar rate, despite not having the same sort of skill set, And I feel like if you have both of them in the team together, and we saw a glimpse of it. Them both playing as eights. You have two different methods of creating chances in that team. If you then add another piece where you have someone on the left who can dribble and create chances by coming inside, Tierney's got creates chances by going on the outside, and you replicate that on the right hand side of the pitch as well. Then you're talking about a very, very dangerous team with lots of different weapons there. So I feel like we need to make sure that we sign this guy and add more pieces to it as well.
Yeah, no,
do you know what? I was even thinking who would be interesting on the left would be Pedro Neto, if we could afford him.
I think he's definitely an interesting player. I don't mind ES on the left actually. I was going to suggest
200 million.
You can hear you now, Lou. I think when we should sign a midfielder.
You can hear me. Sorry, guys. I'm having such a bad time of it.
You can hear you and see you, man. It's all good. But yeah, I was thinking about signing a midfielder to play with Partey potentially. And then using ESR as a left winger, but coming inside. Either way, man, I think I've said this before, man. If you buy a nice item, if you buy some drip, all of you will know about this. You shopping the drip out here, man. If you buying a nice piece of trainers, if you buying some Dior's or some Balenciagas, man, you're not happy just going out on them. You need to buy some jeans and some t-shirt as well, So you need to stack up the closet, man. Basically,
some Levi jeans, yeah.
But yeah, Lewis.
This is driving me insane. I'm on my. Oh God! Why is there such a delay?
There isn't for us.
No, it's not. There's no delay.
Lou, are you in jail with something, man? What's going on? Lou must be in jail, man. This is crazy.
Honestly, this is ridiculous, guys. I might have to just jump off here. Can you guys just finish off the pod without me, please? Because this is insane. I can't. Whatever I'm saying is like 5 seconds behind you, and I can't do anything about it. This is not great podcasting. I really do apologize, everyone.
That's all right, man. We do our thing. No worries.
Yeah. Before you go.
Yeah.
How much would you spend on Odegaard?
Oh, whatever. Unlimited, mate. Whatever they want.
All right. Fair play. Would you spend more on Odegaard or Ceballos?
Ceballos, man.
Look at him.
No. I think. Listen, Ceballos. If I'm being real with everyone, I think Ceballos isn't what I thought he was initially. I still think he's a really good player, but he's not a player I would spend, copious amounts of money on. And I got that wrong. Although I still like the player, I really do like the player. I think he's really good. I wouldn't pay Odegaard what I would be willing to pay for Odegaard on Ceballos, because I think Odegaard is that he looks like he has the potential to be a match winner, or at the very least a player who can change the tide in games. Change the outcome of games, if not by scoring, then by creating chances. And Odegaard on the weekend, a man in a match performance probably, but no goals, no assists. But that doesn't matter to me. The
it doesn't. Yeah.
In terms
I remember when Lewis used to get onto
Ozil
about things like this way.
No. but the thing is, about Ozil. The thing is about Ozil is that there were too many games where he'd be hanging on the periphery and not involved, and that's what I didn't like about Ozil. And I use the goals and assists as a stick to beat him with, because I still don't think he scored enough goals.
To be fair, I think
unless you're going to tell me, are you going to tell me 5 assists in 2.5 years is good? Or?
No, it's not great, but I think with players like Odegaard, we shouldn't.
It's not great. No, it's not great.
No, it's not great. But you see, like Odegaard, for example, I don't think we should be looking at him for goals. I think just him creating is more important than the goals. That's where we have to find a solution for the goals from elsewhere. I mean, if he chips in a fair share of goals, that's cool. But I think that's why we need to the midfielder we sign. We need to look at, are they a goal scoring midfielder at the same time, whilst being able to do other things.
I think the scoring is for the forward line, and the midfielders can chip in.
Forward line as well. Yeah, I think everyone should be chipping in around him. It's not his job. His job is just to create for us. That's it. To be honest,
the issue is we don't have two primary goal scorers. I don't think. I think in order to be, unless you're Man City are proving this obviously wrong, but I don't think we've got two players who are gonna get you 15 goals each.
Other than Aubameyang, obviously. Yeah,
you got Aubameyang, and then who else? Saka's finishing is inconsistent. He's young. Willian's not going to score you goals. Pepe is too inconsistent.
Lacazette can't be trusted.
Lacazette can't be trusted, and I think Lacazette. What? In order to play Lacazette, you have to put Aubameyang on the wing, and I'm not too sure we're getting the best out of Aubameyang on the wing. So that's going to limit his output. So you're cutting off your nose to spite your face a little bit with the inclusion of Lacazette, even though some people do think we play better with Lacazette in the side.
Well, it's not going to be up to them this summer.
With that person.
To me, it's looking like he's gone.
Well, rightly so. He should go. People are celebrating 48 Premier League goals in 4.5 years or whatever it is. So 4 years. That's utterly ridiculous. So. How
much you guys
I had people justifying it in the saying, it's not bad. It's 11, it's 12 goals a season average. Like what do you mean it's 12 goals a season? What, we spent £50 million on a striker to score us 12 goals a season? Come on, man.
Yeah, I get that, man. I understand also the primary and secondary goal scorer thing. And I think the problem we have is that the two goal scorers that we have is Lacazette and Aubameyang. That we can't have them together in the system, and that's not compatible. If we'd have a winger and Aubameyang up top that get those goals, then we're cool. And I might put my neck on the line here a little bit. I think Saka can easily get double figures if he cleans up on his finishing. He gets enough chances. Has he got 5-6 goals this season? And he's only started playing right wing from December. I think he can get double figures. Let's see how he develops. Of course, I don't want to put too much of a burden and expectation on him, but I think he's someone that can chip in. I think ESR can chip in with 5 goals.
You know what?
8 goals. You just need a lot of players capable around the penalty box and capable in executing things, not just finishing. So if you can't finish, be good at creating. And I think Odegaard is one of these players that's good at creating. ESR is good at creating. We need one primary goal scorer that needs to shoot, and Aubameyang needs to put his shooting boots on for real. And we need a second one that can contribute to a good level, at least double figures as well. And then I think we're pretty set because goals will come from all over the team.
Agreed. I hear that. And I think Odegaard as well. 100%. I think Odegaard as well under Arteta has he's sort of shown that he can score a goal now, and he's arriving late in the box. A few times, skying the ball, and he's got a good long shot as well. So he can chip in if we do keep him. He can chip in with 5 or 6 goals as well. For sure. Lewis, you're gonna jump off.
I don't know if you guys can hear me. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, we can.
We can hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's delayed. So yeah, I'll let you guys finish up the podcast. Guys, thank you for having me. I hope to be back next week. Big up the Touchy Gooners.
This guy's crazy. All right. In terms of the last topic that I think is probably worth discussing, I think there's definitely some meat on the bones there. Is Callum Chambers, I think, at right back. I think that was a very good performance from him.
Forgot about him actually. Fact, yeah, got true.
Yeah, I feel like the start of the game was a bit tough for him. I think West Ham were doubling and tripling up on him on that left hand side. Antonio was there bullying him. I don't think Aubameyang was really tracking back as much as he should. I think Arteta referred to that in his press conference as well, he said, that's why he had to switch the flanks because, we weren't getting the defensive cover on that side. So I do think that Chambers, he showed us a little something. I think he's shown us glimpses of this last season under Emery in the Europa League and in the League Cup when he was playing right back. It was a very, very nice assist, I think, to a Martinelli header, first time on the volley from a Reece Nelson switch of play. So he's shown us that he can cross. He's got a good delivery, and I think he got 3 assists that match as well. So he has shown us that he's got some technique, he's got some ability in the final third. But what do you guys make of his performance overall? And do you reckon that should mean that he starts a few more games for us now at right back?
I think Chambers is a very useful squad player. I'm not sure if he's happy with his role. I would imagine so. Like, I would be happy being at Arsenal, being a squad player. I can't lie, man. So I think he's a useful squad player. He's certainly technical. I think he lacks what's required physically as centre-back for to have a regular place in the team. But I would have him in the side as a squad player for right back or centre back. When we play 3 at the back, he could be, for example, the right sided centre back. I think he can give us something in that regard. And going forward, mate, he's better than Bellerin. His final ball is better than Bellerin. Things that we've missed, a right back really putting some power behind his crosses, some accuracy, picking people out. Also playing pass with the outside of your boot, and they're going over 10, 15 yards rather than just 2 or 3 yards. He can do those things. So I would have him in the fold. He can contribute, and he helped us create chances, clear chances as well.
I was just going to say, I think it's just that Chambers is just a better footballer, and it shows by the things he does and by the passes he's making. And obviously, I think even with Chambers doing all of this, we still need to upgrade on the right back. We need a very good right back. I think it's one of the missing pieces at the back. And with Chambers, I've been saying for a while, if I had to pick out of him and Holding who I was keeping, I would keep him just because he's versatile. He can play in multiple positions and he can do them to an adequate level. Obviously, I think I did have high hopes for him at centre back, but obviously I don't think that's going to work out because he just doesn't. I don't think he enjoys defending that much. So yeah, I would keep him around just due to the homegrown quota and his versatility.
Yeah, I hear that, and I think he almost showed us a little bit more of like what we want from that position. Personally, I think when he found himself in the central spaces, that pass that he did to Lacazette in the first minute, that's Cancelo-esque, something that you would associate with a much better player, I think, than Callum Chambers. So he does have that technique, and he does have that ability to play defensive midfield, the ability to play centre back, the ability to play right back. So if he was a bit quicker, I would say, boy, that's our future right back right there. But as you said, Olo, I don't think he enjoys defending too much, and I don't think he's got really the pace to deal with the forwards that we have in the Premier League. But I do agree with both of you that he could be a useful squad player. But yeah, for me, if we're talking about centre back options and defensive options, I feel like Cedric's already here, and he's not really going to be going anywhere. So do we really want to have 3 right backs if we sell Bellerin and replace him with another signing? In terms of centre backs, Rob Holding's just signed a new contract. I do think he can still be sold in summer. I don't think that contract changes too much because I don't think it was a significant pay rise or anything like that. I think it was just an extension of his current deal. So I do think we can still sell Holding. But then you have Saliba coming back. And then you also have Mavropanos, who I'm not sure whether or not we're going to keep him for another year to see him.
I think he's going on another year on loan.
Another year on loan.
That's the plan at the moment.
I can see them trying to put like a buy option in that Stuttgart, because obviously he's a Mislintat signing, isn't he? So and he's doing well there, so it would make a lot of sense because obviously this summer there's going to be quite a bit of cash going around. So you'd like to think we can try to insert a buy option because obviously he's been there for a while and he hasn't been, I wouldn't say he's been given a chance. So you got Saliba that's here, he's better, much bigger talent. So obviously I don't think he's going to want to be backup. But at the end of the day, he needs to focus on his own career. So it does make sense for him to go back to Stuttgart. And obviously for us, we tried to get a fee, maybe a buy option.
Yeah, that's going to be my next point, right? In terms of value and getting and raising cash for us this summer, I think Chambers has probably, got a bigger market than someone like Mavropanos. Probably get a bigger fee for him. So, if you don't really see that big a difference with them defensively, you maybe want to get rid of Chambers to keep Mavropanos because you can get maybe 10 to 15 mil, 5 million more than you could get for a Mavropanos. But definitely one to watch. And I personally would like to see Chambers start a few more games. I know our next game's against Liverpool, so I don't know if Mane is the best test for Chambers.
No, mate, we can't do that to him, man. Last time Chambers played Mane.
Yeah, I think his debut.
You don't remember that game?
He was getting fisted up by Mane,
bro.
Was that Mane's debut?
Mane's debut, and I think Chambers' debut as well. And
mate,
my man twisted him up and slapped it top bins left-footed. So maybe it's a chance to redeem himself. I don't know.
Do you know what? I still have nightmares of Chambers at right back. There was that which game was Swansea away. I think that was the death of him at right back.
It was Montero.
It was against Montero. Oh my god.
The thing is, Montero was giving everyone the steps, man.
Everyone, yeah.
That start and goal, crazy, man. He was moving like Allen Iverson.
Yeah. And then the final topic for the day before we wrap up, our captain, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. I think is the biggest contribution he had to this game was that the celebration of Lacazette's header, because I'm not gonna lie, I saw him celebrating. I was confused because I thought he'd already been subbed off, but it was just him walking around the back of the pitch. But what do you guys make of the situation? Are people reading a bit too much into it, talking about people all this stuff?
Yeah, I think people are doing too much, man. We need to try keep a good enough atmosphere. I get it. He was not good in that game. His defensive, I think for the third goal he just lets this guy go, and it was clear that the ball was going to the byline, and he kind of slows up. And if he tracks his man, Kufo is not getting an easy ball into the box like he did. So he neglected his defensive duties, and he was not really a threat. But Aubameyang is one of these players. He can be on the periphery in games and still score. It's one of these things. He has this type of quality, and granted, it's not going good for him currently. He had a bad patch before December. I would say the whole team did, so I wouldn't read too much into that. But the team is picking up form now, and in the last couple of games, he's missed a lot of chances. These things that leading by example and not being late, then being disciplined basically in the public eye. There's a lot of things that are not looking too good from the outside looking in. But I back the top players. People always say, "Oh, why am I so harsh with certain players, and why I don't care, and why I'm giving more leeway to other players?" Is because if I see quality and I believe in the quality, I'm willing to give them more time, give them bigger leverage. So that's the same with Aubameyang. He's got enough credit in the bank for me to still believe that he can turn this around. I fully recognize and also see that he's not in a good patch at the moment. He's not putting the chance away that he should. But for the better of Arsenal Football Club and what we want to achieve this season, I will not be fooled and just believe Lacazette is going to do the things for us just because he's played well in a couple of games since Jan. I think if we really want to win the Europa League, Aubameyang needs to be heavily involved in this, I think.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, if you actually look at how he's played, not in this game, but how he's played up top, I don't think we can have too many complaints about, his performance because of the chances that he's getting. Obviously him missing the chances is big, but I think the fact that he's getting lots of chances means that if we keep playing him up top, this guy's going to slap goals because that's what he does. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not really too down on him. I do get where the concerns are coming from, etc. But even if you look at this game, the own goal that that West Ham scored, the second one, Aubameyang was right behind that, ready to tap that in. But obviously, the defender kicks it in the own net, so he doesn't get his goal. And that would have been another game where Aubameyang's been pretty poor, pretty anonymous, but he was right there in a goal scoring position to put the ball in the net. Like, people, I don't know if they've not seen that, go watch the highlights again. He's literally standing right behind Craig Dawson as he kicks the ball in his own net. So I feel like his movement is something that we can't ignore. Even when he's having a bad game, as you said, Dan, he can pop up and score. And Ola, I'll let you add to that if you want to, just before we wrap up.
To be honest, you lot already touched on anything to do with Aubameyang. I mean, obviously, he's not had the best of weeks, having been dropped against Tottenham. He didn't have the best of performances in midweek and Europa. So, I mean, all we can do now is just hope that this season's a one-off. Because obviously he's got another 2 years. So over the summer, I think we just need to find as much way. Like I mentioned, we need as much creativity around him to make sure that he's going to get all the chances he needs to just tuck it away. Because he's going to miss chances, but the more chances you give to him, the more he scores. So, yeah, that's all I can really say on the matter. But, I mean, it's good to see him not responding in like a dickhead way to the whole being dropped situation, because if that was old Aubameyang, bro, he would have done tweets about Arteta. He would have like, so yeah. I mean, yeah, that's the positive. He's become a lot more mature. I respect that, man.
I hear that. I think we'll leave it there for today. Thanks everyone for tuning in live. If you missed any parts of it, this is going to be up on the YouTube. It's going to be out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all of that stuff. Make sure you go leave us a 5-star review and a comment. Like the video on YouTube. Do all of that positive stuff. Let's get us climbing up them rankings. Make sure you follow Touchy Gooners on Twitter, Instagram, and all your other social medias, and make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. There's plenty Discords that are popping off, and if you're not part of the Discord, you're definitely missing out on elite content, man. That's where everything goes down, and that's where all the action happens, So yeah, thanks for listening, and peace. We'll catch you with probably another Patreon piece. I think we're going to try and do a rewatch during this international break of that West Ham match. But yeah, see you guys soon.
Press up.